Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutation to the elect. And as you can see, the title of this video, and this is why the scriptures label this man as a fugitive, okay? And when you watch this video, as you can look it up on CBS News, how these Jays are fleeing to Israel with help from people, all right, inside of the Orthodox or unorthodox J community, all right. And I say that because we understand what we're up against as we do these videos. You know, it is what it is, but they're Edomites at the end of the day, all right. Esau, Edom, and this is the wickedness that they have going on, and it's so much wickedness that it has to be reported on for them to make, all right, people to believe that they're actually trying to do something about the wickedness that they do, when we know that, as the scriptures say, they set their nest on high so that they're delivered from the power of the wicked, meaning they don't suffer any consequences from the wickedness that they do because of the laws and unrighteous decrees that are put in place, okay, to protect them. Loopholes, as you can see, there's a loophole within the law to where these particular pedophiles can flee to Israel and hide. And that's why the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is upon them, okay, because they're not going to get away, okay. They've got away with so much wickedness that they've thought, okay, that they would forever and ever and ever get away with it and do it, okay. This is Genesis, the 4th chapter, dealing with Cain and Abel. Now, as you read Genesis, the 4th and 5th and 6th, chapter, it's dealing with the lineage of Adam through Cain, all right, and then you had Abel, but then Abel was slew. Then you had Seth, okay. These are genealogies that were in the earth, okay, and these genealogies established, okay, narratives in the Bible that you should understand in spirit. Now, you had Cain and you had Abel, just as at the time of Isaac you had Jacob and you had Esau. Now, what did Cain do? Cain absolutely murdered his brother Abel, okay, which what he did with that act is he tried to basically cut off the righteous. If the Lord didn't give us Seth, okay, we wouldn't be here, okay, this very day, okay. So when you read that, you have to understand exactly what happened and what was going on and why this narrative is very important in understanding the scriptures. Cain and his family line represented the seed line of the wicked, okay, just as Abel, okay, and then Seth and on down the line represented the seed of the righteous, the sons of God. Okay, now here in Genesis, the 4th chapter, Cain is he's called out for murdering his brother, which is the same thing Esau, Edom is doing it to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to this day because of the blessing you have, okay. And here's the punishment, okay. Let's listen closely to what's being said. Verse 10, it says, Genesis 4:10, and he said, "What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground." Okay, and the blood of the Israelites is all throughout the ground in this earth, man. Okay, there's been much and many bloodshed that you Edomites have done to the Israelites all over the earth, man. And you're not going to get away as you thought you would get away. But for a time, you would be a fugitive. And that's what we're going to deal with real quick. It says, "And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand." So Esau, Edom is cursed from the earth. If you look at him already, he's basically deficient, man. He's lacking. Okay, the earth fights against him and he fights against the earth. He can't stand in the sun, okay, without it harming him, okay, and so forth. There's other there's various ways in which the earth does not interact with him as it interacts with the Israelites. Okay? And it's beyond skin tone, because you do have Israelites who on down the line, through mixing and mingling with the heathen, all right, will come looking like the heathen. But in their spirit, all right, they're Israelites. Okay? It says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Okay? And you can see that in the earth today. When the Israelites get back in power, we're not going to have to, till the ground to get the fruit of the earth to, spring forth, man. Okay, all we're going to do is implement the law, statutes, and commandments, and the spirit of the earth is going to change, man, for the better. Okay, but Esau, here it is, he's drilling everywhere. He's going all over the earth trying to find gold, stones, oil. Okay, but the earth is not in its full strength under his rulership. Okay, it says, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Now, let's look up these words real quick. And we know what a fugitive is. One who's on a run, basically, for something that he did and he didn't pay for. But that Hebrew word is nawah. And it deals with to disturb, to shake, to cause to wonder, to quiver, to chill, to stagger. And that is the root word. Now, to fugitive, continually make, to go up and down, to be going away. Let's see here. Basically moving around. Now, let's just look up the word fugitive. And it says, a person who has escaped from a place or is in hiding, especially to avoid arrest or persecution. Okay? So, Esau Edom is a fugitive, as the scriptures say in the book of Habakkuk, real quick. Let's get that. Habakkuk, chapter 2. Let's see here. In 5 it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He's all over the world. He's all over the place doing wickedness. Okay? And is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people via the New World Order. And he's going to try to put a microchip in everybody. But now, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, which is that debt. And who owns these banks that has everybody in debt? The so-called Jew. Okay? But he is a proud man that neither keepeth at home. Now, when we go into Esau's blessing that was given unto him by Isaac, just as Cain was blessed with the sword. When you look at that family line at Genesis, the 4th chapter, that family line was the first to create weapons. Okay? And artificer and brass and all of these various different things, man. So that spirit of Cain, all right, was placed upon Esau. Okay? It's the same spirit. Tubal Cain is one of the descendants of Cain. And when you read about it, basically him and his descendants were a bunch of murderers, man. Okay, then you had Lamech, who basically sung a song. And what was that song? As a matter of fact, we'll get that in just a minute. Let's read Esau's blessing, man. Let's see here. This is Esau's blessing, Genesis 27:39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, this is after Esau cried because Jacob got the birthright, okay, which he gave away at the end of the day. It says, behold, thy dwell. But ultimately, when you read this story, a lot of people looking at this thing only in the flesh try to say, well, Jacob stole the blessing and this and that. Well, the blessing belonged to Jacob from the foundation of the earth. According to the Lord's movie and how he had it written, okay, it is, what we read, how, Rebecca helped Jacob and, they deceived, Isaac and all of that. But ultimately, the birthright was given unto Jacob from the foundation of the earth before they were even born, as it says in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. Okay, so the Lord loves drama. Okay, and that created a lot of drama. Look what it's led to, that whole story of Jacob and Esau. All right, it says, and Isaac his father answered him and said, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And when you deal with fatness, that's oil. So he would have control of the resources in the earth, man, at one point. And we're living at that point. And of the dew of heaven from above. Okay, he would be in his heaven. He would be in his rulership at some point. Okay, because everlasting life was promised unto Jacob, that all of his brethren would bow unto him. He would, you know, but this was Esau's blessing, man, which is a temporal blessing. And by thy sword shall thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. Okay, and that happened under David. Okay, it happened at the time of the Renaissance. Okay, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, so he uprooted himself from under David, because when you read about David had you Edomites in captivity. Let's read that real quick. First Chronicles 18 and 13, and he put garrisons in Edom, and the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went, as well as all of the other different nations, Moab, Edom, Ammon, you know, the Philistines and so forth. All right. So there was a point that we had them in captivity. Okay. But Esau uprooted himself from that captivity. Okay. But if you look closely at what was being said, when thou shalt have the dominion. Okay. Let's look up this word dominion. Okay. Because it's going to describe this devil to a T. He's all over the planet Earth, wandering, doing wickedness, man. Now that word for when dominion, all right, or when he shall have the dominion, what is it? Rawad. And it says to wander restlessly, roam. He's all over the planet Earth, okay, doing wickedness, then running away from his judgment to do wickedness somewhere else, man. Restless, to show restlessness. He's all over the planet Earth. Neither keepeth he at home, man. Okay, doing wickedness, man. Now, going back to the song that I was speaking of in Genesis, the 4th chapter. In the 23rd verse, all right, this is a famous song. This is a poem where one of the descendants of Cain, Lamech, is bragging on how they can get away with whatever the hell they want to get away with. Why? Because the Lord, as you read up, let's see here. As you read up Genesis 4 and 15, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any man finding him should kill him. And that mark was the mark of leprosy. But ultimately, you can't kill Cain. You can't take Cain down until the Lord takes him down. Now, as we know, there was a flood, okay? And after the flood, Noah repopulated the earth. So how will Cain eventually pay? It will be through Esau, Edom, who came back on the scene, okay? Who came on the scene through Isaac at the time of Jacob and Esau. Okay, so this is how Cain will eventually pay. Nobody gets away. All right, even after the flood, those spirits returned. All right, just as they came through Adam, they returned. All right, through Isaac. Okay, through Jacob and Esau. All right, well, Esau. We'll speak dealing with this now. And as you read down, Cain knew his wife. Now, where in the hell did Cain get a wife from if Adam and Eve were the first and only two people on the earth? As people don't know what the hell they're talking about, spew. Now, as you go down, one of the descendants of Cain, in verse 23, is given a speech. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding and a young man unto my hurt. So this family line, all right, was doing the same thing that they're doing at this time. You can go to the Josephus to read up more and study on this family, but there were a bunch of violent beasts, just as Esau, Edom were, just like the Borgias and the Medicis and, you know, all of these, you know, Rothschild, all of these families you hear and read about, they have the spirit of Cain in them. Okay? And this is why they're on the earth doing all of this wickedness And it seems as though they're never going to pay for it. Okay? Like that video we started off with. They have a loophole to where they can just be pedophiles and do wickedness and flee to Israel, which is supposed to be the city of righteousness, you know, over there in Israel where the chosen people are, and they get refuge. The Lord is going to deal with this, man. But you have to understand how he's going to deal with it. Okay? It says, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold, because they knew that you can't touch them. And they have that same spirit unto this day. You can't, if you do any harm to an Edomite, you're ostracized. You're put out there. You're thrown through the ringer. You see? But, and then it says, and Adam knew his wife again, and then came Seth, because they Cain basically murdered Abel. Now let's get the book of Job. Okay? And the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, man. Let's get the book of Job 21. Now, as you read this, Job is asking some very prevalent questions, man. It says, wherefore do the wicked live, in verse 7, Job 21:7, become old, yea, and are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them. Their bull gendereth and felleth not, their cow calveth and caseth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and the harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment they go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? Okay? They don't promote the Most High in this society, man. Okay? In their rulership. They uplift Satan, science, under the guise of Satanism. Satanism hidden under science and all of these other different off philosophies, man. Okay? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them? God distributed sorrows in his anger, and they're coming upon these devils, man. Okay? They are as stubble before the wind, and that's going to be Esau. As the scriptures say, they shall be as stubble. Okay, in the book of Obadiah. All right? Now, as you read down, it says what? Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath, man. You see that? The wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, man, and we're coming up on the day of destruction. So the Lord is just now paying Cain back for what he's done. Okay? He's been a fugitive all this time. And who has the testimony against that fugitive? The Israelites, the elect. Okay? Revelation chapter 12 and 17. And the dragon, which is that fugitive, man, which is Cain, which is Esau, Edom, was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, man. You see that? We have the testimony. Now, if you're a fugitive and you're on a run, you know what you did. You know you're guilty. Okay? And these Edomites know they're guilty. They know what they've done. They know what their forefathers have done. They know what they were taught about, how we have low IQs and we're monkeys and we're beasts and we deserve to be treated with the worst treatment and all of these various things. They know that. Okay? But here it is. We have the testimony that's going to get them a life sentence and eventually put to death, man. So they're going to come after us because we have the testimony that's going to lead to this fugitive finally being put and locked in chains, man. Okay? So he's going to make war with the woman, the remnant of her seed, which is the Israelites, the children of the living, okay, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach is the spirit of prophecy. The spirit of prophecy unravels everything about you devils. The spirit of prophecy tells us why. This is why when you read in the book of Psalms, the 73rd chapter, Asaph, known as the first recorder of music, okay, when you get to the point in verse 17, Psalm 73 and 17, it says, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then understood I therein. Because you understand the movie now. You understand how prophecy works. So you're patient. Okay? Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou didst cast them into destruction. How are they brought into desolation, as in a moment they are utterly consumed with terrors. And this is happening to their kingdom as we speak. And it's only going to get worse. We're just seeing a little bit of what's coming to Esau, Edom. But they're reserved until the day of destruction. They're reserved until the very end. When you look up that word reserved, okay, and what that video was talking about, that's done on a worldwide scale. And there's loopholes within the law for these people not to get caught, especially those of the Roman Catholic Church, man. Chasak, to withhold, restrain, hold back, to keep in check, refrain, withhold, keep back, keep for oneself from, and the Lord has refrained himself, okay, from getting down on you devils until this time, and it's getting ready to happen on a large scale, man. Let's get that in, you already know, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And verse 6, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 6. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in this time. Now you know why the Lord has withheld judgment for him, because he had to be revealed. Us going out prophesying has revealed who he is, and now the judgment is coming. Okay, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, and that was the Roman Empire at that time. And amongst the Roman Empire, you had the Herodian dynasty, okay, who was what? Saying that they were the chosen people, man. So they've been for years trying to get that birthright back, man, and that blessing, man. Only he who will now will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord has let and allowed wickedness to reign, just as he allowed it in Egypt. For what? Only for him to be put out, man. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Start with the prophets, and it's going to end in the chariots, man. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, man. Okay? There's another precept that I'm thinking of, but how the Lord said he has remained silent, man. I think it's in the book of Isaiah, but if we can't find it, you know, that's pretty much, it's all good. The Lord has basically refrained himself, man. There you go. Isaiah chapter 42 and 14. I have long time holding my peace, and I have been still. I am refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once, man. Okay? And as you read down, that's starting with us going out on the highways and the byways, screaming his word. I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not, and I will lead them into paths that they have not known. And I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. Okay? And this is it for you Edomites, man. You know, the fact that we're out on the highways and the byways screaming out, we're crying out for sins that you have, basically going back to Cain, okay, and that you have for years and years built up. Because remember, when you read Revelation, the 18th chapter, Revelation 18 and 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Who was her? That's Esau, Edom, okay, who controls Babylon the Great. Okay, the Lord is making inquisition of the counsels of you ungodly heathen, man. And you're being called out, you're getting caught, and you're through. All right, you're through. Let's get one more. Trying to get the blood flowing, you know. Oh man. 2nd Esdras 11 and 41. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable. And this is speaking of that fourth beast, man. That fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire. And this is the revived Roman Empire. Who controlled the Roman Empire? Edomites. Okay? Thou hast loved liars, thou hast hurt the peaceable, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and have cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. And he does this all throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, the earth hast thou not judged with truth, man. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest has also looked upon thy proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled, man. And they're getting ready to be fulfilled, man. And there shall appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings. And is not Esau, Edom tied to the eagle? Was not the Roman Empire tied to the eagle? Is not America tied to the eagle? Nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor any of thy vain body, man. That the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her, man. All right? Because the earth is ready to be refreshed, because as we go back to the curse of Cain, okay, remember what it said. It said the earth basically would not yield her strength unto you when you tilled it, man, when you ruled it. So the earth is ready to be refreshed. Everything is ready to be refreshed, man. Okay? This stuff right here is getting ready to be dealt with by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua on a very, very harsh level, man. Shalom.